Welcome to Starving Artist Courses, your all-in-one online music education resource. My name is Matthew, and today we will be learning Imagine Me on piano. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is look at the key of the song. This song is in C major. So first let's play a C major scale to begin. So we'll start with just our right hand, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then going down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. No sharps, no flats. Left hand, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And we'll try them together really quick, and then we'll get into learning the song. Just like that. So the next thing we want to learn is chords, the chords of this song. So you're going to begin with a really simple C sus in your right hand, which is just a C major chord, but we change the E to an F. And then we change the F back to an E. And then back to an F, then back to an E. That's pretty much the whole beginning. The left hand is also going to do that F, E, F, E, along with the right hand. So how this will sound is you're going to actually arpeggiate the right hand down. So and you repeat the G every time before you go back to the beginning with the F, just so that it fits rhythmically. So let's try this just right hand, really slow. And that's pretty much it for the beginning. So you can practice that in a loop a couple times just till you get comfortable. And then this is the left hand with it. So the left hand is going to start with the G each time. So I'll play it really slow. And we can add a couple things in there. Sometimes the left hand will go D, E, F. And how that fits together is you do and that's pretty much it. Sometimes we can do repeat the F too. But other than that, that's pretty much it for our intro. Alright, so now we're going to move on to our pre-chorus, which is going to start with an A minor chord. Okay? So you're going to keep your hands in the same position pretty much, but your left hand is going to move down to an A. Okay? So your right hand, you pretty much will do these three notes for our A minor chord. And our A minor chord, we're adding a 7. So if you count it from the A, you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This G is a 7 in relation to the A. And we also add a 4, which would also be called an 11. Since we have a 7 in the chord, you have to call it an 11. Okay? And the 11 is because you count up from this A all the way up to the D, if you count that. Basically, you start with that. That's probably the easiest way of playing it. And then basically we just move up to the B. And pretty much play the same thing. You can also add an E in there a little bit if you want, so okay, and then our last chord is just a simple C. But the last time we just end on G, C, G. So let's start all of that right from the A minor chord. And that's it. And now we're going to move on to a part that's actually tenths. So this is actually really interesting, and it's a really good thing to learn, is tenths. Okay, so if you count up from your D, we're actually going to start on a D this time. So D is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? And it's going to go from D to C to F. Okay, and I'm naming that by the lower left hand note. Okay, so D, C, F. Okay, and the cool thing about this is that in a chord, all we're doing is we're just taking out the fifth. Okay, usually in your triad you would have D, F, and A, but we're going to take out that A because honestly it's not completely needed to play the chord. All right, so that is our entire pre-chorus. Now we move on to pretty much the same thing as the beginning, but there's a few small changes. So I'll play those for you now. So you're going to start exactly the same, except we're an octave lower also. So right, so we did that in the beginning, but now we're an octave lower, and we're going to actually go to the B a little bit sooner, and we're going to move our left hand all the way down to here. Okay, one octave lower than it was up here. Up here it was really close. Now we're going to move it down here. Okay, so exactly the same. Okay, this is a little bit different. This is a G over B chord. So if you see in the right hand, we're doing B, D, G. Usually a G chord would be G, B, D, right? But what we did is we moved it, the G on the bottom, all the way up to the top, and put a B in the left hand. Okay? And then we move on to a C in the left hand, and a F, D, B flat, okay, in our right hand. And this is actually, I would probably call it a C11, okay? Because if you count up from this C, you have a 7, right here, that's the B flat. You have a 9, which is the D, and you have an 11, which is this F. Okay, and that's also arpeggiated. You could do something like that. Let me just play it really quick for you so you can kind of get an idea of how it'll sound. So let's start from the beginning of that section. To the G over B. That's probably the easiest way to play it. We'll just do E, D, C, D. Let me play it one more time, really slow, just to make sure you got it. That's pretty much it for that section. So after that section, we actually move back up here and play the same thing we did in the beginning. Exactly the same. And then we move on to our next section, which is the gone, gone part. And this section, you can kind of do almost what you want. So we're going to just learn the chords, the basic chords, and then I'll let you kind of just play what you want for this section. So we're going to start with an F. Okay, and I would probably play an F2 for this. So you have an F in the left hand and an F, G, A, C in the right hand. And then we're going to move on to a C over E. Okay, and usually we would play it like this, right? Because we moved the C from the bottom to the top, right? But this time we're actually going to move this E down to a D, so we're playing fourths in the right hand. So D, G, C in the right hand, and E in the left, okay? And that's a good voicing for a C over E. It's a C2 over E actually, because we added this 2. So we're going from F2 to C over E, and then we're going to move to G. You could play that really basic, or you can move it up here, pretty much wherever you want. You can add a 2 if you want. And then we're going to move on to our C11. Then we'll resolve this down to an A, C, E. And since we're still playing a C in the bass, I would probably call this a C add 6. All right, so let me just play through that a couple times just to show you how it would sound. And that time I actually played an F7. Okay, so I stayed on the A, C, E in the right hand and just moved the left hand. All right, let's actually do one more thing to this section. Let's add some rhythm. So, if we want to add some rhythm, the most basic way, and the way I like to play it, is we're going to just do basically like that. So just quarters throughout the whole thing. And then our left hand, F, F, E, B, B, C. And that's pretty much it. Let's try it all together. And do what we did in the beginning. Just add a little bit of a touch to the ending. All right, so we're almost done with the song. Now we're just going to learn the tag at the ending. And basically all that is we're just going to repeat the ending of our intro. So if you remember, we played here it is. So all you're going to do is just repeat that at the ending. So let's try it a couple times. Wait a little bit. You can just try that in a loop a couple times. And then the very last time, we actually move it an octave down and we add a retardando. So we slow down at the end there. So basically like that. So let me just play through that. And that's pretty much it. So for your homework, you're just going to practice the intro a bunch of times, then you'll practice the second section, that pre-chorus, then that bridge a couple times, and try it kind of at a slower tempo in the beginning, maybe around 100, and then you can bump up your metronome slowly, maybe by about 10 clicks, until you get all the way up to full tempo, which is 154. That's it for this lesson, and if you would like to learn more and dive deeper into learning music, we offer one-on-one online lessons with an instructor, and you can visit starvingartistcourses.com/memberships. Also, be sure to join our mailing list, and we'll send you a free PDF, Finding Your Rhythm. All right, that's all for today. Feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.